There's always something about pushing off at the shore that is a good feeling to get going, because you got all of life perils behind you on the shoreline, all the stresses you deal with. And when you're out on the water, all you got in front of you is just a bunch of adventure, a little bit of the unknown. But so we're gonna get after it here and try to make some time. Right now it's 8:04 our time stamp, so we're already behind about half an hour. Well, I think we're gonna have to remove the fins. You just got too many ripples here that those fins are getting caught up on. Let's try it. Alright, fins are successfully removed. Now let's see if we can get a float on. Just don't have as much control, but we're working. The wind certainly can take you if you're not paying attention. I have a feeling we're gonna just have to keep on the paddle just to get any sort of a distance behind us and navigating. I know that from a kind of a marker standpoint, there are 4 bridges that we will go underneath, and then the 5th bridge I believe is the takeout. So another little ripple coming ahead. Let's see. Well, this was supposed to be the relaxing part of the trip. I can get through this one without getting out. Hey, I did it. Well, Troy, if this tells you anything so far, I don't think we'd want to bother bringing your canoe here. I'd hate to ruin that cherry red bottom of your canoe. I had to remind myself to hydrate. Definitely tell the wind is whipping up at the top of those trees. Well, I don't know how many times we're gonna have to stop and line it along here. It looks like we have reached a deeper section, but this may take a little bit longer than I anticipated, for sure. Let's see if we can get through this. A little bit of a ledge. Oh yeah, there we go. Got it. A big rock right there. We avoided that. All right, I think we have an opportunity here just to quickly go over the gear we got for this. So I have been kind of looking for the last, I don't know, probably 6 to 8 months, different canoes, kayaks, pack rafts, just what makes sense for me in the area that I live in. So anyway, finally broke down and made the decision a few weeks ago, and I ended up buying the Aqua Marina Memba 390 series, and it's actually a two-man kayak, inflatable kayak, but it also works for just a one person and then gear. And it sits about 12 feet 10 inches just below the level of where you would need to have to register your kayak. So what's nice is it comes in a pack, everything packs in it. It comes with two paddles, so if one goes bad, I got a spare. I don't foresee that I'm gonna ever have two people in here, although you could fit maybe a full-grown adult, maybe a smaller child. But I think for what I want to do, this is working perfect. So far, everything seems to be working well. Obviously, river travel is going to be subject to how deep the water is. You've got those fins that are supposed to go on there to help you with tracking as you move along, but I think it'll be just fine over an open lake, obviously out of the wind. So you gotta stay on it. That wind will take you, current will take you. You got a big deep bank up here. There's pretty deep right in here, I think. Looks nice. So anyway, the rest of the gear I have on this trip, brought the fishing pole, but I'm not sure we're going to be able to use that. Alright, some of the other gear I brought with me: first aid kit, water, camera gear. I brought some snacks, and that's pretty much it. I bought a buff just as more of a cooling rag if I needed it, another towel, I wanted to try to keep it light. Wow, look at that bank. I wonder if there's any like barn swallows that have made some nest in that. Now we're finally getting somewhere. Probably can't hear me with all that wind blowing, but I will check in at the first bridge and see if we can maybe capture some wildlife as we go along. Finally, I've gotten to a section here where it's nice, calm, shady. So far, so good. Somehow figure out how to portage around this. Looks like that whole bank has fallen in, and then everything, multiple trees in here fell in, and then just all the other debris coming down river has blocked it all. So I'm gonna do a little scouting and see if we can find a route to bring the kayak through. I guess this is what they mean by moderately challenging. Well, hopefully we don't have too many of these along the route. Otherwise, we'll be out here all day. All right, set it down. Back on the water. Well, it took about 15 minutes to get that all sorted. A little bit deeper channel here that I've been able to try to stay in. Still no first bridge, so it's got to be getting here close. I haven't stopped to take a look at my phone to see if I got any signal or anything, but just to even see if I can tell where I'm at on the map anyhow. Like we have another big area. We're gonna have to portage around potentially. Here we were thinking just a nice easy float trip on a Saturday morning. Ooh, just saw a tree fall in that window over there. I don't know if you heard that on the camera or not. Crazy. So I just had my first dump in the water. Just trying to get it in and out of the canoe, and tripped. And then I hear over in the distance a tree, big tree just fell. I don't think it fell in the water, but just off the bank. Whew, something to be conscious of with these high winds up there. Well, we just finally passed the first bridge. It is 10 till 10, so we are way behind schedule, but this last stretch here seemed to be opening up, less shallow water, and was able to get through that pretty good, except for now the wind is picking up. So I got about a half of Nalgene of water left, so we're gonna just try to keep cracking at this and knock out couple more bridges here. I think I've got 3 more bridges and then the takeout, if I remember right. So I'll touch base here after a bit. Just had a big buck right there on the shoreline looking down at me and snorted. Looks like he's just been following me here. I thought I saw him earlier. The grass moving up there. Still in velvet. Very cool to see. So at the put-in, that little area there was considered a county conservation park. But the whole rest of this water trail is all private property, so technically you can navigate the water, but as soon as you step out, you're on someone's private property. So I haven't seen anybody out here other than me so far, so tried to just get out sparingly when I have to. In some of these areas it's hard to find the deeper channel. Like right now, in the middle of the river. One of the underlying challenges for this trip is I'm not getting any younger. 52, I'll turn 53 this November, and as many of you know, as we get older, things change. Our energy is depleted, our bones ache, our muscles ache. So, because my mind is still where I'm 20-30 years old, but my body takes a little bit longer to recover. But it shouldn't stop us from getting out there and doing ventures like this. Something about the unknown around every corner, and just pushing your mental and physical abilities, pushing them a little bit and seeing what your limits are, but doing it in a manner to where you're not going to put yourself in too much danger or anything like that. So I have a few fail safes on this that I'm trying to, obviously I have my PFD on, which provides a little bit of comfort, not only for me but for family. But then just the having cell phone, which right now I haven't had much cell coverage where I'm at, so I haven't been able to touch base with my wife to let her know the progress. But I think as soon as we get closer to the takeout, things will change. This is a pretty remote area. The other thing is I have water cached along the trip back, and at the takeout too, that will keep me hydrated on a warm day like today. But probably something I need to start investing in is a GPS unit. Got a deer right. So far the inflatable kayak has been holding up very well. Probably do a full review on the kayak itself in a future video, just all the features that's on it, and kind of get a few more miles under it, and I'll be able to give a good honest opinion about it. So far so good, very pleased with it. Well, we just passed under bridge number 2, and it says 5.3 miles remaining to get to our takeout point, and 2.1 miles to the next bridge. So we are way behind, and it's taken a lot longer having to line this river bottom, but things are still going well. We've just been paddling and lining and getting enjoying the wildlife that's along here. I've seen a fox, several deer, a raccoon, kingfishers, a lot of birds too. Wind continues to pick up, so timestamp right now is 11:18, so We are way behind schedule, but we're getting there slowly but surely. Alright, we are under the third bridge. Just getting a little shade here. I had a little snack. Still no cell phone reception. Lesson learned for getting out here in these remote areas. Went up to the road just to kind of see if there was a signal, but couldn't get one. So at this point I think we're 3.1 miles away from the takeout. It's been a slog just having to get out, get in, get out, get in. Starting to get some cramps in my arms, and I thought I would just pull over here in the shade, cooled off, and then had a little snack with some salt just to replenish the sweat, and a few peanut M&Ms just to provide some energy. So probably got about 3 swallows of water left, which I'm getting low on that. So fortunately at the takeout I have a full ice cold hydro flask waiting there for me when we get there. So I'm hoping that once we get out here, it seems like this last little stretch it opened up a little bit. I was able to kind of just paddle down the middle of the river. The biggest problem is fighting the wind. So we are headed southwest and the wind is coming from southwest, and even though we're in and out of these bends, it's still hitting us pretty strong, so it's making it doubly hard. I think that's why my arms are sore just from paddling hard just to stay ahead of it. But slow progress. Definitely underestimated the amount of time it would take to do this. Right now it's 12:35. I was hoping to be done by the entire trip by now. So mad because I disturbed their river time. Came around that bend, they were all just laying out here in the river. Kind of spooked them a little bit, and they got a bunch of calves with them too, so I just gave them some room and then ended up moving up into the timber there. So alright, kind of moving along. Bridge. It's the last bridge before the takeout. This last section wasn't too bad. I had a good long section of paddle and then a couple sections of just ripples. Got all kinds of barn swallows under here. They can eat all the mosquitoes they want. All right, last section here. Got a mile and a half, I think, and then we'll be at the takeout finally. Feels good to be in the shade. I bet you about the last 2, 3, maybe 4 miles has all been in the blistering sun. Just gonna take a moment to soak this shade in. Started getting into more of a wooded area instead of an open pasture. So we probably got maybe a mile, 3/4 of a mile left, I'm guessing. So we're almost there. Definitely going to be ready to get out of the kayak and onto the next leg of the adventure. Oh, we finally made it to the takeout. Bridge is just in front of us, but it's shallow right here, so I have to line the kayak the rest of the way. I'm gonna get it up there and get it all deflated, packed up, and do a switch out on our gear, and then get ready to bike back 11 miles. I think that will go fairly quickly compared to this. Let's hope anyway. Definitely need to find a shady spot, cool down, get some food and water in me, and rest up for the next half of the adventure. All right, we're making an executive decision. I got in here, got everything packed up, and I went up to the road there and texted my wife and told her to come and get me. It's not worth my health or a video or anything to try to push through 11 miles of open road and a 105-degree index. So she's gonna come here and pick me up. We'll go back to the entry point and get the truck and get all the gear and head home and head to the air conditioning. But thanks for joining me on this one. It's been a heck of an adventure. First time out on the kayak. We're gonna do a 2-part series on this one. So thanks for watching part 1. We'll see you in the next. Well, that is a muddy mess. Just think, you could have been watching Love Island right now. That is no joke. That's a workout just to get that pumped up. Then added about 10 minutes, 8-10 minutes. I got the sides blown up and I need to do the floor in it so far. So give it a rest here. But wow, I guess no different than portaging a canoe, a heavy one. So adventure's about ready to get started.